You know what gets me? What really gets me is that look in their eyes, that defeated, beaten up look. When people quit their jobs, you can see it. It's right there. And we remember exactly what happened like it was yesterday. And it stays inside, as in forever, doesn't it? After all, no one ever starts a new job thinking that someday they are going to be forced to quit. But that's what's happening in record numbers. The truth is that I saw this great resignation in motion long before COVID-19. It's just that people are leaving faster now because they finally can. What was true long before March of 2020 and what is true now is that people join companies, but they leave managers. That is the heart of the matter when it comes to quitting. I've taught executive assistants and leaders in 14 countries and 38 states, and this talk is what I know from that experience. One of the biggest reasons why people quit is because of workplace bullying, which is a humiliating and complicated experience and really hard to talk about, impossible for some, which is what happened with my student Victoria. Despite being a skilled, intelligent, and experienced executive assistant, Victoria was bullied by a series of managers in her career. A soft-spoken person, she found herself harshly judged and underestimated. She felt unable to fight back, and that ate away at her confidence. Victoria told our class that over time, she came to wear an invisible backpack that held a heavy rock inside. She called it her rock of insignificance. Victoria wore that backpack for 38 years until, with coaching and support, she finally found her voice and was able to quit the bully. She took off that backpack once and for all and vowed to never be silent or insignificant again. Another all too common reason why people quit is because of sexual harassment, which is demoralizing to the core, embarrassing, and fills women with self-doubt as they're forced to question their own behaviors in the search for who is really at fault. People quit from being repeatedly overlooked for raises and promotions, not being supported to get training, extreme burnout due to overwork, and rules that apply to some, but not all. People quit because of managers who look the other way in the face of racism and discrimination, which causes a profound sense of betrayal, not to mention serious mental health issues. These are the real reasons why people quit their jobs, not the ones they write in letters of resignation or say at exit interviews. The real reasons rarely make the news articles because they are so painful to disclose. However, when people leave, little bits of their souls are left behind. That doesn't make the news either. And 35 years ago, I was this close to quitting my job in the first year as I was the publicity director of the whole theater in Montclair, New Jersey. I loved my job and got to work side by side with the artistic director as we figured out how to promote each play. About 8 months in, I got a new manager who sat me down and told me that effective immediately, I was no longer allowed to speak directly to the artistic director and that I could only communicate with her through him. I was stunned and I had no idea how to respond. As a 29-year-old young woman, I knew this was about power, and wow, did I feel powerless. I also felt angry and disoriented and muzzled. I remember everything about that day, what I was wearing, how hot it was, and how I decided to quit, but not until I found another job. It turned out that the artistic director ended up firing that new manager, and she asked me to stay. And I did for 25 years. That artistic director was Oscar-winning actress Olympia Dukakis. My life would have turned out very differently had I quit. Today, we are living in a YOLO economy, you only live once, with lots of people asking themselves tough questions about how and where they want to live. In a matter of days, the pandemic sent much of our workforce home to work, and many of them discovered that they thrived without a commute and without the daily interactions with their managers. So how are managers handling all of this? The data shows that it costs a company an average of 6 to 9 months of an employee's annual salary to replace them. For an hourly, non-salaried employee, it costs $1,500 or more to replace them. Pretty expensive, right? So if a manager is aware of the steep financial cost of hiring and replacing staff, why then are they not doing more to stop this race to the exit? Well, I found my light bulb answer to that question in a 2012 poll that reported that the average age that a leader receives their very first training in managing people is age 42. In that same poll, updated in 2021, the average age is now 46. Incredibly, the age has gone up. That's too long. The connection between lack of management training for leaders and this great resignation is unmistakable. So it's not that managers are setting out to be bad or abusive. It's simply that they have not learned how. The essentials of what drives people to stay and what sends them running. Imagine this instead. What if those managers came to understand much sooner what their staff really wanted? And what if they came to care what motivates a team to be loyal and to go above and beyond every single day? And what if those things cost little to no money so that the solutions are available for everyone? Well, here are the top 4 things in order and from my experience that staff needs to stay. 1, respect. 2, belonging. 3, money. 4, career growth. Now, I'm sure you noticed that money was not number 1. Definitely not. Respect. Respect is the number 1 most important ingredient in the global workplace. That is as true in Camden, New Jersey, as it is in Auckland, New Zealand, and every other place you can name. It is a universal truth that when people feel respected, most everything becomes possible. Since respect is so important, what exactly does it look like? Respect can mean simple things like saying please, thank you, saying your name and pronouncing it right, and showing up at your father's funeral. Respect means making it safe to speak the truth without backlash, and managers who don't shy away from difficult conversations. Respectful managers don't have all the answers, but their staff knows that they will be dealt with honestly and fairly. Because you know what? The staff knows when things aren't fair. Respectful managers stand up to bullies, sexual harassers, and racists. They are willing to take action even when it is super uncomfortable and even unpopular to do so. This is what respect looks like. The second most important thing that staff wants is to belong, to feel valued, appreciated, important. Managers do this by making it their business to understand the unique talents and skills of their team as individual contributors. Every member of a team has been hired for a reason. So when those reasons are fully leveraged, the staff knows that they belong and that they have genuine purpose. The third most important thing that staff wants is to be fairly compensated. Money is one of those topics that still feels so forbidden in many organizations. So the most effective managers are the ones committed to pay transparency and pay equity. These managers clearly see the wage gap that exists between women and men, and they don't pretend that it doesn't exist. And the fourth most important thing that staff wants is to have a runway for growth and opportunities to keep learning. This means not having to apologize for being ambitious or fight for training dollars. The smartest managers know that nothing feeds a person's soul more than being supported to keep learning. These managers not only have the highest team retention, but also the highest productivity, engagement, and profits. The return on investment of managers giving their staff these four things is immediate and positive in every way. And for professionals and new college grads who are searching for their next job, the setup for success is to seek out company cultures that enthusiastically embrace and promote these four values as priorities for every employee. None of us knows what the future brings. What new variant, what new technology, what next crisis may be around the corner. However, we do know that as long as the world's workers are comprised of human beings, that what we all want is to do work that matters with people who respect and value us, pay us fairly, and support us to grow. When that happens, they don't quit, they stay. Several years ago, I got to see this with my own eyes on an overnight flight to London. Everyone else was sleeping, but not me. I found myself watching this flight attendant doing his work, so obviously happy in the middle of the night. We had a cup of coffee together, and I asked him about his work, and he instantly stood up taller, and he said, "I love my job. I love the people, and they respect me. And I don't care that other airlines pay more money. They don't have what this one has. Leaders who treat me like a person." Imagine the new workplace where people will join companies and they will stay longer, committed to their managers because they are committed to them. Doing this will radically reset and transform this war for talent. It will, without question, turn the tide of this great resignation, not to mention save millions of dollars in replacing staff and improving our overall mental health. Now that would be a brand new ending that will not only benefit you, but your children and mine and generations to come. I'm Bonnie Low-Kramen. Thank you very much.